before I jump into this, because I feel like I don't know where we're going to end up once I jump into this. If this is anything like it was last week, if you were at Bible study or watching Bible study last week, let me know and make some noise for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're looking at what it means for us to continue to make continual improvements to it, but I was richly blessed by the dialogue and let me know kind of where we need to go. Here's what I do want to mention to you all. Never feel like there's a subject matter you aren't aware of and feel like you shouldn't feel free to bring it to my attention that, hey, I've never heard anybody talk about this, or I would love to learn about this or grow about this. Send us an email the team, respond back to the email that sends you all the email, send us a text message, stop by, drop a note in something, let us know. It may not be tomorrow, but I want to make sure that we don't just feed you what I know you need, but that we also scratch where you may be itching. And I may think you're at a place where you may not be, and there's nothing wrong with that. Amen? Amen. Some of y'all been in church a long time, but I know you've been in church a long time, but that don't mean you've been changed at all. And some of y'all haven't been in church a long time, which is perfectly fine on the other front of it, which means I have a fresh opportunity to introduce you not just to church, but to Jesus. Yeah. And my argument is that they're completely different. And so I want to make sure I make that disclaimer early. Well, if you weren't, and this is the last thing I want to say, let's make some, they're not in here, but let's make some noise for those who work with your children every single week. Every week, somebody in the team goes above and beyond to make that happen. And as you all know, we've made changes almost weekly in an attempt to best serve you. This is our year of better. This is our year as a church of better. And so we're looking at how we can best serve you, best serve your families. And so what we're doing this day, today in particular, and for the coming weeks, is we're also figuring out what it means for us to kind of have them in a more specific age bracket group. Amen? Amen. And so today we've got those who are 6th grade and about 6th grade and under being worked with today, and then everybody else will kind of be with us. And then in the meantime, we're praying that God continues to send us the team that we need, the resources that we need. We want to serve them. We don't just want them to be here, we want to serve them well. Amen? Amen. I know some of y'all like, I just want to drop them off. You can serve them however you want to serve them. It's like, it's like I get that, but I want to make sure we're serving them well and that our teams are resource adequate and we have the space for. I'm so excited about the space we now have to serve some of our littles, and I want to make sure I can kind of do the same experience for some of you all have some older kids as well as we continue to grow and grow. Grow and go. This is why your prayers are critical for your church. It's not just that to pray that the church grows or pray that you get what you want out of the church. You have to pray that God will send us everything we need to accomplish His vision for this spiritual family. We want to serve everybody. You all, I like to believe that you all eat well spiritually on Sundays as adults and those who attend this part of the service. Is that safe to say? Yeah. I do my best to make sure I'm with God and that those who come and deliver the word do their best. I want to make sure we do the same thing for your children and the same thing for your tweens and ultimately the same thing for your teens. And so that means I need you all to be in prayer with me about God sending us those who we need to join our team to help us do that. Also be in prayer that God will continue to send the resources that we need because it takes money to do ministry well. Amen. It got kind of, it was amen on let's serve Him well. It was kind of like on the money part. So, the reality of it, it does. It does. And so I need you all to be in prayer with me about the resources. I believe everything we need is out there, just waiting to hit us. But if we don't pray for it, if we don't believe for it, if we don't ask for it, it's not going to come. So we made a decision to pursue it passionately. So it means when I see something's wrong, we stop it, we go forward, and we attack it as best as we can. Say, hey, we want to make this the best experience as we can for everybody. I want to serve you all well. Amen? Amen. Y'all got my back? Amen. All right, let's roll. Rejection and relationships, the R word. Last Sunday, I started this thing, and I dealt with it looking at Leah and Rachel, right? This whole idea of their rejection experience, and that I communicated to all you all this great big idea for why I'm doing this series. And that is that our greatest joys and our greatest pains come from the same place, relationships. Now that statement confused a few of you all last week. I heard from a couple of you all, so I want to unpack it before I go any further. When I say your greatest joys and your greatest pains come from the same place, relationships, it doesn't mean that everybody is out to hurt you. It just means that you will get hurt in relationships. It doesn't mean that every moment won't be joyful. It just means that every moment won't be joyful in relationships. Does that make sense? But your greatest joys are going to come from relationships. It's not in the stuff you can buy if you don't have nobody to share it with. If bought something you like, man, I wish I could call such and such and tell them I just bought this. Right? The second you buy it, you want to tell somebody, I bought it. Not in a braggadocious kind of way. Some of y'all need a spirit of humility because some of y'all are in a braggadocious kind of way, but some of y'all aren't. Right? Because some of y'all are in a vain kind of way. It's like, I got to post it right now with the bowl, and I ain't even finished paying for it yet. Like, I'm not talking about that spirit. I'm talking about the kind of spirit where it's like, I want to share in the joy of this moment with somebody who is significant in my life. So your greatest joys don't come from the stuff you buy, but those you get to share the moments of buying the stuff with. And sometimes it's not buying stuff. Sometimes it's just silly, ridiculous moments at home, on the couch, walking down the street, doing whatever it is you do when you have fun. But your greatest joys are going to come from relationships. The blissful moments of marriage. Notice that's the blissful moments of marriage. Your greatest joys will come. And your greatest pains. Hurt, deception, defeat, discouragement, betrayal, misunderstandings, loss of a loved one. Your greatest pains, likewise, will come from relationships. Now, that's not to scare any of you all about them. It's to be honest with you all about them, and hopefully in an attempt to help all of us learn how to better manage them and to steward them so that we can live better lives by cultivating better relationships. You cannot live a better life if you don't have better relationships. Let me say that again. You can believe that you are I-N-D-E-P-E-N-D-E-N-T. There's a reason she had to read that slow, right? Like, yeah, you can't do that quickly. You can believe that all you want to. It's a lie from the pit of the enemy. We weren't made to do life alone. If you don't believe me, start in the book of Genesis. Adam was there, or to start off, God was there. And God must have included, I don't want to be alone. I could, I don't want to. So he made Adam in his own image. After it was him and Adam, he was like, wait a minute, Adam, it is not good that man should be alone. Therefore, he took from Adam and created woman. He said, let me give you a suitable helper, a companion, a purpose partner. For those who say no, you should write that down. He gives them a purpose partner to walk through life together with. Not just for companionship and not just for entertainment, but to build something together. Because some of us just want friends for friends. So, this isn't part of my notes at all for today. I feel free all up and through here today. Because some of y'all, your friends are only your friends because you feel lonely and they provide good entertainment but terrible companionship. It's like you there, y'all are just cool to hang out with, but I'm not going to tell y'all my business. Like, yeah, you are quality entertainment. Every time I hang out with you, it's world star stories. But I wouldn't bring you home to mama. And I would. That's why some of y'all don't bring your friends to church. Y'all not gonna play with me today. And so what I'm communicating around that though is this whole idea of in the beginning it starts off with Adam and Eve and they're there and there's honestly where the world takes a turn is Adam does not understand how to best manage this relationship. Eve isn't clear on how to best manage the dynamics of that relationship. So Eve starts talking to this serpent about a matter that was really pertaining to Adam. So you're having a conversation about our future with somebody else that you don't know. Do y'all see this, right? Now let me be clear. This does not just apply boyfriend, girlfriend, spouse, partner, whatever. This totally applies to friends, because some of y'all got some friends who talk to other friends about you when you're not around, as if those friends are automatically safe. They're not safe to handle my business. I didn't tell you to tell them. But if I don't understand that and manage that appropriately, I am setting myself up for disaster. If I don't learn how, as my pastor says, if I don't learn how to put people in the proper place, that everybody has a place, and it's your job to put them in it. They're going to put themselves where they want to be in your life, not where they should be in your life. And y'all, and some of us are guilty of allowing people to drive and park their vehicle where they want to park in our lives. And so we say that because they are there, maybe it was God who put them there, and everybody, let me deliver you right now, set you free. I'm going to set the captives free. Everybody is not your assignment. Because some of us be like, God put them here, I'm supposed to help them. Are you? Am I making sense? Yes. Now, some of you, this is bothersome, so I'm going to give you scripture to back it up in just a second. But I want to lay out this foundational groundwork here, and I'm going to show you in scripture where to learn how to have a better life, you have to learn how to cultivate and better manage relationships, because they are the place and the source of your greatest joys and your greatest pain. Your spiritual, physical, financial, emotional, and professional progress is tied and tethered to who you allow to be a part of your life. Mm-hmm. And some of us are stuck because of the people that we hang with. Mm-hmm. Or the people we don't. Because some of us only hang with people who are just like us. Broke. Y'all see, I thought I was going somewhere else, didn't you? Broke, miserable, frustrated, sad, confused. So y'all sit in the room together like, where do we go? Which way do we go? Which way do we go? But this is what the Bible teaches us. Put it on the screen for me. It's Proverbs chapter number 12, verse number 26. It says, the righteous choose their friends carefully, but the way of the wicked leads them astray. The righteous choose their friends carefully. That means they are intentional. They are deliberate. They are very concerned and involved in who it is they walk with. I want to read this to you in another translation, just in case you feel like this one is saying something it's not saying. So King James Version says this way, the righteous is more excellent than his neighbor, but the way of the wicked seduces them. Let me give it to you in another translation. It says it this way, right here, that one who is righteous is a guide, but the way of the wicked leads them astray. Give it to you one more time. It lets you know again, right here, the righteous choose their friends carefully. I want to ask a question today. This is the title of my sermon for those who do take notes. Is how are you picking? Because the way some of y'all pick come from the spirit of rejection that still sits on you. So you pick from a place of rejection which looks like acceptance. And so based upon this inner desire to be liked, loved, supported, encouraged, to not be the oddball out, we don't pick those who can grow us and stretch us and provide accountability. We provide those that are typically convenient. And let me give you this passage right here. It's Proverbs chapter number 13, verse number 20. Proverbs 13, verse number 20. It says this, that when you walk with the wise, you become wise. But a companion of fools suffers harm. Oh, ain't the Bible good? Amen. Look at the Bible, it's so good. Y'all know that was in there, did you? Well, if you walk with the wise, guess what you're going to become? Wise. But if you keep walking with fools, you're going to suffer harm. Because here's why I point that out. Some of you all ask the question, what's the harm in hanging with some of the wrong people? I asked that question them. It's my life. I'm not affecting nobody else. Now this is that the companion of fools suffers harm. So you're playing with fire. You don't realize it, but you are dancing with your own destiny. That's what you're doing. You are leaving your life subject to the opinion of foolish people. Am I making sense?
Yeah.
Is this too harsh?
No.
It didn't matter. It don't matter around when I got Bible for it. It's just, you feel how you want to feel about it. My job is to give you what the book says, and the book makes it clear that if you walk with the wise, you'll become wise. How are you picking your friends? Let me catch somebody this way. How are you picking your job? Do you pick what's easy or what's going to grow you? Because some of us pick that like we pick our workouts in the gym, and you don't pick a work. And when you're not really trying to get stronger in the gym, you go to the baby weights. Right? I'm making practical as I can, right? This is a heavy subject. There's been times in which I've tried to do all of the above in my life. There was times when I was training for basketball when I was in high school, so I spent more time in it. I spent more time around it. I wasn't even trying to get bulkier, but I was trying to get like my legs stronger to get more. I was a shooter. I wasn't going in the paint. Look at me. I was always this size. I ain't never been much bigger. I had a little more weight on me, but it wasn't significant. So I wasn't going in the paint, but I figured I'd catch you on the long range. I'm gonna catch you right here. But I was trying to get strong up here. Until finally I got with somebody who was wiser. And it was their area. And they said, you're spending so much time getting stronger up here, and it's making you shoot harder. You need strength in your legs. That way when you go up, the ball will go this way, and you're not pushing it, it just flows. Here's what I'm saying. When I was walking with people who didn't know better, they kept trying to make me stronger. This way. When I got with somebody who was wiser, they said, you're focusing on the wrong area. Yes. And the second you focus on the right area, you will get better.
Come on.
Faster.
Make it plain.
Yes. Amen.
But here's why most of us don't do that though. Most of us don't do that because you don't want to be accountable. What does that mean? What does that look like practically, Rev? I'm glad you asked. Most of us have an attitude that says this: you can't tell me nothing. And maybe you don't say it that way. Maybe you do. But when people say something to you, you always assume they're judging you and not trying to help you. I'm not saying there aren't people who judge. I'm saying everybody ain't judging you. But do you know where that comes from? It's that spirit of rejection. And so some brokenness, you don't get free from some brokenness until you get healed. So I said this on Tuesday. Some badness don't get fixed until the brokenness gets healed. So some of your behavior won't change until you admit there's something broke in my heart that makes me reject the right people and love on the wrong. This seems to bother some of you all. So let me give you some more scripture. Let me give it to you. I found it last week. It's not actually in my notes, so let me give it to you this way. There's a story. I knew I wasn't going to get through what I wanted to teach, but this is good right here. So I've got three things I'm going to give you lesson-wise, but I want to show you a story that unpacks exactly what I'm trying to communicate to you all here, because sometimes you pick friends based upon who's going to do something for you, and it's not the right thing that they should do. So you pick friends who do stuff like this. So 2 Samuel chapter number 11. 2 Samuel chapter 11, verse number 14. It says, in the morning, David wrote a letter to Joab and sent it with Uriah. In it, he said, put Uriah out front where the fighting is fiercest. Then withdraw from him so he'll be struck down and die. So while Joab had the city under siege, he put Uriah at a place where he knew the strongest defenders were. When the men of the city came out and fought against Joab, some of the men died. Some of the men in David's army fell. Moreover, Uriah the Hittite died, and Joab sent David a full account of the battle. Now, some of you all don't know the Bible like that, and that's okay. I'm going to tell you what the context of the story is. The context of the story is very simple. There's a man named David. David is the greatest ruler at the time. He's the king in the land. David has seen Bathsheba one night. He out there doing something he ain't got no business doing up at a time. He ain't got no business being up without his wife, looking at his neighbor's house. As he's looking across his neighbor's house, he see a woman who catches his eye. Her name is Bathsheba. Bathsheba is out there doing whatever she's doing. I don't know if she's bathing or walking around without no clothes on the whole house. I don't know. But what happens is they end up hooking up. They get together. I got kids here, so I got to watch how I say this. They get together. They hook up. As they hook up, they conceive a child. And when David finds out, he's like, oh man, what am I going to do? I can own it or I can hide it. Y'all don't relate? Y'all have never done anything before where you said, do I man up and own it or do I hide it? Well, here's what happens, and maybe you don't have a situation quite like that. I hope you don't have a situation quite like that. But in situations, that's what we do. Here's what happens, though. So he concocts this plan. And when he concocts this plan, he calls Joab. And Joab says, all right, what you got for me, player? What you need me to do? He says, look, Uriah, that great man that's been serving me great, been fighting these fights for us, I know he's been killing on the court. I know he's been killing, but we got to take him out. Because if he find out that I've been messing with his wife, this could go all wrong. So he's going to mess up this plan. So he tells Joab, Joab, go out, kill him. Put him in the front. Just put him out there. We're not going to kill him ourselves. We're going to let the work he's doing, because he's a faithful soldier, we're going to let him die this way. So they set him up. He died. Joab asks no questions. He just says, okay, sir. Goes and does it. Handles it, buries the body, sends the word back, mission accomplished. Some of y'all are like, man, that's a good friend. Some of y'all are sitting there like, man, I wish I had me a friend like that. Some of y'all are sitting there like, man, I am that friend. What you need, Red, what you need, player, just tell me what you need. I got it. It's between me and you. And the world tells us that that's the kind of loyalty we need. Where is the kind of loyalty that says, I love you so much, I don't want you to self-sabotage your future?
Yes. Yes.
Where's the one that says, wait a minute, you might get mad at me in this moment, but I'd rather you get mad at me in this moment than you self-destruct your life. Because you've already made one bad decision. Why would you make another to cover it up? But see, we want friends like that. We don't want a friend that's going to check us. Bro, you first of all, you should have called us before you went over there to her house. Let's start there. Now, you need those kind of friends. Say, wait a minute, bro. Where did this happen? And why are you calling me now? So y'all don't want to talk about the real kind of friends, because you scared them to make all your friends leave your life, and I hope your friends leave your life so you can get better ones. Does that make sense? Why? Because those who walk with the wise become wise. But the companion of fools suffers harm. Here's what I want to tell you about. Some of you all will tell me that that's loyalty. I will tell you that that is an unhealthy loyalty. That is always, listen to this, and you might want to write this down, it is always committed to a person's wishes, what they want, instead of being committed to a person's well-being, what they need. Because sometimes what you want and what you need are not the same. And I need a friend to give me what I need and not what I want. So this is tight. I feel like if you wanted to accept this, you'd give me some more amens. But I feel the rejection of you rejecting this word. The rejection, because you're like, ain't nobody gonna tell. I don't need my mama tell me no enough. So I picked my mate to tell me yes. Well, you picking your mate the wrong way. No, Rev, you don't know. Preacher, be quiet. You ain't read the Bible about submission? Let me tell you what submission means. The word submission is two words put together. Sub meaning under. Mission meaning where we're going. So it is us coming together to get underneath where we're going. So it's me coming together and say, what's our objective together as a couple? What are we trying to accomplish? And as we're fulfilling them, as we're going after, we're getting underneath. So Jerry and I, we are committed to reaching as many people as possible and seeing them empowered to win. We have this vision for Empowerment Church. This vision for the church is bigger than the vision for the church. It is likewise the vision for our life. I feel like I'm not called just to the church. I feel like we're called to the world, to reach as many as possible. So we get together underneath the mission.
Yeah.
Right? So when I make decisions here organizationally, we make a decision here organizationally asking the question, is it under the mission? Oh, we ain't doing bake sales there. But Rev, we like to bake. But is it under the mission though? See, I don't like this. Because you thought submission was they say yes to everything. It's my way or the highway. No, that's not submission. That's not biblical submission. It's getting underneath the mission. It asks the question, where are we going? Paul says, follow me as I follow Christ. So you want me to follow you and you ain't going nowhere, that's a problem. So some of y'all are trying to get under stuff and you're trying to figure out why it ain't working. It's because y'all ain't going nowhere. Am I making sense? Submission. It is not just the art of saying yes. It is the art of serving the unique purpose of us being together because we are purpose partners. So this applies in that covenant relationship of marriage, but this also should apply with the people you're walking with in life. We're purpose partners. I'm trying to go somewhere. Are you trying to go there too?
Yeah.
I'm trying to live a life a kind of way. Are you trying to live that way too?
Amen.
So if I want to live a life of purity, I can't be hanging out with everybody who don't want to live that life.
Yeah.
Talking about I'm the light. Okay. Can I give you one more Bible passage? Here it is. Write this one down. It's 1 Corinthians 15:33. 1 Corinthians 15:33. 1 Corinthians 15:33. It says, don't be misled. Bad company corrupts good character. See, that's what we clear. I'm not just talking about what I'm talking about because I feel like talking today. 1 Corinthians 15:33. Some of y'all need to write this down and put it. When I was growing up, my mom used to tell me all that stupid stuff they used to tell y'all, where it's like you put it under your pillow at night to help you remember it in the morning. Some of y'all need to put this under your pillow at night. Not that it actually does anything, but as a reminder when you look up in the morning, you see it all over again. Some of you might want to put it on your phone, where it's like when you look at your phone and you be like, yep, I'm about to text such and such. No, I can't do that because bad company corrupts good character. Some of y'all you ought to change the name of some of the people in your phone to bad company. That way, if you make the decision, you're at least making an informed decision. And me texting you is a bad decision, but at least I know what I'm doing. Because see, before you were able to plead, before you could plead the fifth, before you could say, I didn't know better. But now I'm telling you better. So you need to change their name, bad company. That way when they call, man, bad company is calling. If you answer it at your own risk. Does that make sense? Because we're purpose partners. God called all of us. He intends for all of us to live a unique purpose, to live a life that gives Him honor and glory through our lives. That is not a life of perfection, but it is a life that is trying to live like Jesus. What does it mean to live like Jesus, Rev? I'm glad you asked. It's to live a joyful life. It means I can go through hell and not have hell in my heart. It means I can go through a storm until the storm peace be still. I understand it's happening out there, but it ain't got to bother me all the time. It means I can sleep at night. It means I can sleep. It means I can sleep when a storm is happening because Jesus was asleep while the storm was taking place. They went down there and woke Him up. I want that kind of living. One that can sleep when a storm is happening around me. Everybody else is shook. I want to be able to sleep. I want that kind of peace. Not one that says trouble ain't coming. Somebody can sell you on the fact that trouble ain't coming all they want to. They're lying. They are lying. Even those who argue the Bible don't argue that point. They don't even try and argue that one. 1 Corinthians 15:30, bad company corrupts good character. Can I read a quote to you? In this book, it's called The People Factor. Van Moody says there's no such thing as a neutral relationship. Everything impacts you in some way. It either helps you, hurts you, builds up, tears down, brings you higher, brings you lower. There's no such thing as a neutral relationship. We're going one way or the other. Choose, Joshua said it this way, choose you this day who you gonna serve. As for me and my house, we're gonna serve the Lord. You know what he was saying? I know where I'm going. Do you? And some of y'all, that's too real of a conversation to have with your friends. But I promise you, your life is a reflection of it in one way or the other. You either got with people who had good work ethic, and as a result, you all built something, accomplished something, moved something forward. Or you got with a bunch of lazy people. And every year, y'all make goals and resolutions. They do nothing but talking and Facebook posts. Some of y'all, if y'all went to like January 2nd on like your Facebook and clicked on this day and time, some of y'all probably see the same post you made the last year. Yeah, 2018, this year is going to be better. 2017, this year is going to be better. 2016, this year is going to be better. 2015, this year is going to be better. And you might have said it differently, but in some years you had lyrics to back it up, started from the bottom, now I'm here. Where are you? Where is here? I remember when I turned 24, I'm like, this is going to be my Kobe. I looked up, my 24 went so fast. Because it wasn't nothing but a word. I had no goal. Like I had in my mind, right? But I didn't have an idea around it. I wasn't putting people in place around it. Am I making sense? Yes. Lord Jesus. It's 11:22. I asked you all a question to start this off and said, how would you pick it? There's a book I'm going to recommend when this series is over that kind of gives you 5 things to look for in a friendship and in a relationship. I'm going to share those 5 principles that this author gives to communicate this idea. Number 1, you ought to be picking based upon unshakable character. Unshakable character. Unshakable character. What does that mean? It means that nobody's perfect, but their character is intact. So they might make a mistake, but they got the right heart. And some of y'all got people who got bad habits, and you keep people with bad habits closer than you keep people with a bad. Some of the people have bad hearts. Yeah. And some of you all keep people with bad hearts closer than you keep people with some bad habits every now and again. So you keep the broken people close. And it makes sense to some degree, right? Because you don't want to feel exposed, vulnerable, judged. But you only get better when you come around people who are well. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So unshakable character. Nobody's perfect. But do they have a good moral compass that helps them make decisions? Unshakable character. Number 2, unconditional love. Unconditional love. Proverbs 17:17 says, a friend loves at all times, and a brother is born for a time of adversity. Unconditional love. You should pick based upon unconditional love. Let me be clear about what that means. The writer says it this way. Biblical love is not affection, it's activity. Biblical love is not affection, it's activity. It is the unconquerable benevolence. It is a commitment to seek my highest good. Yo. How do I figure out whether or not they have this unconditional love? I figured it out based upon how you handle the best of me and the worst of me without changing how you deal with me. There's some of you here that have known me a long time. Some of you here have known me a short time. All of you all should have discovered this one big thing about me is I am changing. When I say I'm not changing, it means I am consistent in how I am with you. Whether you do something wrong, do something right, I'm still there. Some of you all have written me love letters about how great a pastor I am. Some of you have also written miserable letters about how you wish that that I changed the church colors to like red or something. And I said no. And we had a fallout. And ultimately, you came in the next Sunday, and I gave you the same hug and the same love. Because my call is to love you unconditionally. Does that make sense? What does that mean? What is that another way of thinking of that? Another way of thinking of that is this. It's how we should love our kids. Right? I might not like what you do, but I love you for who you are. So your behavior is not going to change how I actually handle the situation. I'm going to handle it the right way. But I can handle the best of you and the worst of you. And some of you all don't have friends who can safely handle the best of you and the worst of you. Friends, apply that, however, relationally. Can they safely handle the best of you and the worst of you? Or when they say the worst of you, are you worried that one day, because they talk about everybody else, and they don't talk about me today, so because they talk about me today, but they talk to me about everybody else, one day is going to come where me and you might fall out. Do I now have to worry about the stuff I told you thinking you were safe coming out? Because you walked with me, but the whole time you walked with me, you talked about everybody else. Yeah. So now me and you bump heads. Can I trust the stuff I told you in safety to remain safe? Or is the love not unconditional? It's based on how I make you feel in the moment. So because when we go out, I buy everything. The second I tell you got to pay your bill, now I ain't worth nothing. Y'all remember Brother Man from the fifth floor? Why you gotta do me like that, man? I'm just trying to get a sandwich or something. You tripping. I wasn't tripping when you were sitting on my couch eating my sandwich. I didn't invite you in my house, though, right? But I'm telling you to go down to where you stay, and now you got the attitude. Unconditional love. How you handle the best of me and the worst of me without changing how you deal with me. It means, can you sit with me and be silent when I'm grieving, and sit with me and smile when I'm going through great moments of joy? Do I feel safe, and can I trust you to lead me and guide me in the right direction even when it's not comfortable? Does that make sense? Oh, I got 2 minutes. Number 3, unbridled honesty. Oh, I love that one. Unbridled honesty. What does that mean? Well, you tell me the truth even when I don't want to hear it. Now, let me be honest about this one, and I think I might have to give you the other 2 next week, so come to church next week. Unbridled honesty. Well, can I trust you to tell me the truth, regardless of how much you may or may not like it? Here's the biggest challenge with unbridled honesty. It requires both people being safe. Because some of you all don't have people who are honest with you, because each time they try to be honest with you, you blow up. Because some of y'all are sitting there like, man, I don't have no friends like any of this. That might be true for some of you. Some of you all, you had friends who were like that. Yeah. But you took their kindness for weakness. And you discarded them as judging you, and they were just trying to help you be better. We do this with friendships, with relationships, we do this with mentorships, we do this with coaching sessions. Y'all do it with pastors. Amen, somebody. Amen. Unbridled honesty. Tell me the truth. Can I give you a Bible to back it up? Yeah. Proverbs 27:6. Proverbs 27:6. It says, wounds from a friend can be trusted, but an enemy multiplies kisses. Wounds from a friend can be trusted, but an enemy multiplies kisses. Enemies will kiss you, and tell you, I didn't just cut you. I'm the kind of person, it's like, I know I cut you. I know it hurt. But was it right? But did you understand why you had to be cut? Do you understand why I had to hold this mirror up? I didn't like holding them no more than you needed it to be held up. But if I didn't hold it up, you weren't going to see it. Does that make sense? Because, you see, but this requires emotional health on everybody's part. Somebody's got to be safe enough to hold the mirror up, and the other party has to be safe enough to receive the mirror. Because wounds from a friend can be trusted. I can trust some people to come and bring me some stuff because I know they don't mean ill when they bring it to me. That's the kind of relationship, a friendship. I use friend loosely. Apply that wherever you want to relationally. That can be a spouse, partner, wherever. We should be able to have unbridled honesty, and if we can't, and we're walking together as purpose partners, if I can't tell you the truth in love, and you not go haywire, ballistic, I'm going to tell you the truth, and you call me a dog face.
Shut your mouth.
Because some of y'all are like that. Like some of y'all play in church. I know some of y'all. Some of y'all have a very mean bark and bite. Some of y'all bark is bigger than your bite. Some of your bite is bigger than your bark. But some of y'all got all of the above in a very weird mixture. But wounds from a friend can be trusting. I believe you didn't tell me this to hurt me. What is that called? That's called assuming positive intent.
Yeah.
Wounds from a friend can be trusted. Unbridled honesty. With our friendships, we should be able to undeniably be authentic. I tell people this all the time, especially those who are the closest to me at this stage. If I have to do anything other than be me when I'm with you, it's costing me too much. If I got to be anything other than me to make you feel okay, it's costing me too much. If I'm having a bad day and I got to pretend like I'm not having a bad day to protect you, it's costing me too much. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I come over to my house, I gotta put stuff up because I gotta worry about whether or not you're gonna pick it up. It's costing me too much. It's costing me too much.
Yeah. Big facts.
Man, you just can't come over. I'm not putting up stuff in my house because you're coming over. Now you're not coming. Right? I remember growing up, your mama be like, oh, make sure you put up the nice china. Make sure you don't leave no jewelry sitting there. I'm not doing all that. I want to be free enough to leave whatever I want to leave out in my house. Does that make sense? If I got a glass sitting on the table, don't judge my glass. Yeah,
Yes, Lord.
my house. I got Bible for it. Noah was there. And the problem with Noah was the sons didn't cover his father. It wasn't the father. The father didn't sin. He was in his own house. See, y'all don't want to talk about the Bible. Unbridled honesty. Because someone who is the closest to you may be the only person who can adequately and accurately speak into your life truthfully, because they're one of the few people who actually know what's going on with you. Does that make sense? Sometimes it's like, yo, I need to talk to this person because this person is going to help me. And sometimes talking to me ain't even the most beneficial because I only know a certain side of you that you choose to show me. So sometimes I don't have a full picture of who you are till something goes wrong. Because the person you are when stuff is right is not the same as you are when stuff is wrong. Oh no. You see a hole in the side of some of you when stuff goes the other direction. I'm finished, Maurice. But here it is. It's not, I don't mean that in a judgmental way. I mean it in an honest kind of way, because I can only help, a friend can only help, the person in your life, the coach, the mentor, the pastor, the advisor, whoever can only help guide and provide accountability, strength, life. They can only give you that when you're willing to be honest and when they can be honest with you.
Yeah.
There's a couple people now who I've stepped into a more spiritual advisor coach role with them. They asked me would I do that with them. I said yes. They said, well, what will it cost? I said, we'll take your time. We talked about that. And here's what we concluded with that. I said, listen, you can give me as much money as you want to give me. We can talk, we can agree upon this number. But if we don't agree upon you being honest with me about whatever I need to know, I'm not going to do it. Because you're going to waste my time. Because I'm going to be speaking into you about something that you aren't being honest about, and it's going to backfire.
Yeah.
And then we've got to go fix what you could have told me about from the beginning. It's one thing if I know you're about to go into a conversation that's going to blow something up. But you're going to have those kind of conversations. But let me talk to you about it before you do it. Because the management is different when you know what to expect, as opposed to you go into it unadvisedly. And then come back and you're like, yo, my boss is about to fire me. My coworkers are about to do this. My friend is about to do this. My girlfriend is about to do this. Help me. And it's like, yeah, when I talked to you yesterday, you were fine. Well, when I told you I was okay, I really wasn't. And this is really what was happening, but I didn't want to waste your time. No, right now you're wasting my time. Because we could have addressed this before this happened. Does that make sense? Unbridled honesty. It costs too much to be fake. It costs too much to be unreal about where you're hurting, where you're broken, what's bothering you. It costs too much. I want to get better. I want to be better. I want to live better. I want better relationships. I want thriving relationships. I believe it's possible.
Yeah.
I want to be happy. I was with one of my guys a couple months, this is February? It was last month. It was last month. And I was with him, and he's made a major life decision. I mean, major. I said, bro, how do you feel? This former football player, college level, would have went pro, he didn't tear his ACL, looks at me, puts his hand on his, it says, brother, I'm happy. It was the most, as an feminine, it was the least masculine thing I've ever saw him do. It was the least masculine I've ever seen him do. That's something you would see on a commercial. He's like, brother.
I'm empowered, you're empowered.